Hey guys, it's Hawkeye. I just wanted to show you something I've been working on for a pretty long time now. Actually, it's probably been over 8 years. This is my personal crossover game, blending both Dragon Ball and Yu-Gi-Oh together. It's made with the template of the Yu-Gi-Oh card maker, and everything else is just done by me and a couple other friends. Alright, so I'm just doing a quick intro here. I'm going to show you some of the stuff before the cards. So in the description, I'll just put a link to the time for if you just want to go straight to the cards, then you can just do that. I'll also obviously post a link to go to this place by yourself. That way, if you don't want, you don't have to go through this video and keep pausing to read a card. Here you'll be able to go straight to it, and then you can click on a card and make it full screen. So, alright, starting off. As you can see up here, this is the title here. Came up with the Eternal Journey because Dragon Ball is ongoing. There's just so many things that can be made. Like, I have over 470 cards, and I'm probably not even halfway done yet. So there's the question mark right there, just to indicate that. Right here you can tell when it's updated. That way you can know for sure whenever you should stop by again. Alright, so starting off, right under the title, we have the newest added and edited cards. That just gives you all the names of the newest cards that I've added in or changed, so you can go straight to that card because everything's in alphabetical order. This part, it's not really necessary. There's obviously, whenever people make fan cards, sometimes they don't take them seriously. This is going to be as professional as we can possibly get them. So this just gives them like a heads up as to what they can expect. So not a big deal. Requested cards. Anyone can request a card. I'll just put your username here, if it's from here, YouTube, anywhere else, the card that you suggested. You can even give me ideas of what you want it to be, its effect, and all that kind of stuff, and I'll perfect the OCG for it. Alright, added rules. This is not exactly like the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. It does have technically the same rules, but I'm not going to go through all this. You guys can read this, but anyways, well, for one, this does have a ban list of its own. There's going to be some cards that you can see that are going to probably be overpowered or stuff that shouldn't be unlimited. So we do have a ban list for this deck. Right here you can see the game rules are pretty much exactly the same as Yu-Gi-Oh! But there is one thing: if you play any cards from this gallery, your entire deck must be these specific Dragon Ball Z cards. You can still play against other Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, but you cannot combine the two. And that includes your side and extra deck as well. There's a lot of other rules. There's specific things for this game that aren't in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like heritage, mentoring, and a couple other things. There's even some effects that you need to have knowledge of the show itself for, or the manga, whatever. Anyways, I'll get on to it. You guys, again, I'll just skip past all this part. The only part I'm going to scroll down slower is going to be for the cards. You guys can just read this if you visit the link. So, right here you can see there's the ban list, forbidden. You can already see that there's quite a few. Now look at all these limited cards. All that stuff's at 1. And a decent amount of semi-limited stuff too. So, alright, abbreviations, this is pretty generic stuff. Sometimes with the template that they require, things will not fit well inside the text box. It doesn't automatically fit everything, no matter how many pieces of text there is, so I need to try and edit the text to where it'll fit better, to where you can actually read it, which in this case, if you can't, or if the text is really small, that's why I've included lures, for those hard to read effects. So you can just scroll through those if there's an effect that you can't really read well. But this here you can obviously see there's going to be abbreviations and stuff like synchros and exceeds and stuff that won't fit. Alright, now we're moving on to the good stuff, the cards. It's all organized, alphabetical and everything. Monsters will be in the first couple things, and then there's spells and traps. Alternate arts is just basically the same cards, but, you know, just a different picture. So, alright, starting off with Dragon Ball. I'm not going to read all these guys' effects because obviously this video would be like probably over 2 hours. So I'm going to try and get this done less than 20 if possible. So I'm just going to start scrolling down. You guys can pause the video whenever you want, And that's pretty much it. Here you can see some of these say Namekian. That's just an added part of the game. It includes heritage. Probably don't need to explain it right now. Again, if you want to know any of the new rules to this game, all you have to do is just click that one tab in the beginning. It goes for Saiyan as well. At the moment, I believe Saiyan and Namekian are the only two that have heritage. When you read these effects, try and remember specifically what those characters' history is about, what they do in the series, their past, what they've done, what they're doing at the current state of the picture itself sometimes, and the effects should make a lot of sense. They're trying to make the cards balanced, yet at the same time still decently playable, and yet at the same time still represent what they are in the series. So, and here you can see that some of the secret rare cards will actually have that secret rare effect in the back. Before, if you did it before without editing the picture yourself, it would just cover the entire card. And for some pictures that did not look good, so I use a program called GIP2. I basically just crop out the part of the picture that I don't want to have the secret rare effect on and edit the picture myself. So all the secret rare cards were made edited. Alright, moving on to Dragon Ball Z. This probably has the most out of any of the tabs. See that this are the spell cards. And you can see we already have some Dragon Ball Super cards. We just put them in Z because technically Super is Z. It's just a continuation, but in the same universe, not like GT. One thing we did with the Universe 6 characters is right here you'll see a U6. This is just to indicate they're from a different universe. We might release some specific cards that have to do with different universes and stuff, but we'll see about that. Anyways, if it's blank like this, then it's just the original universe, Universe 7. And the mouse out of the way. Movie characters, though, they don't really have anything there. We're thinking about just putting an M there. We're not sure yet. I'm gonna scroll a little bit faster. Remember, you can always pause if it just happens to be blurry while scrolling down. You pause. Keep trying, or once again, you can just click the link in the description and come straight to this place yourself. It'll probably be much easier to read that way as well. So, and obviously there are copyright issues with printing out this game itself and selling it or playing it. So if you want to actually test it out and play for yourself, then just print it at home in your own printer, because they're kind of picky about that in some places. Especially, one thing on here, avoiding us from doing that would be the fan art. There is a lot of fan art on these cards. Like, right here's just for an example. You would have to find the original author, or not author, artist of the picture, and get their approval to print the cards. So, with the amount of fan art in the game already, that'd take a long time. So, but obviously there's a lot of screenshots in here too, or renders that have been edited, or anything with like a black and white background or plain background. We try and add backgrounds to whatever we can. We want to get the best pictures we possibly can for these cards. No crappy pictures where there's no background, or it's the whole body but it's so small that it doesn't fit. We want all the pictures to fit perfectly well with the Yu-Gi-Oh picture frame. And there's a lot of Goku cards. Even got Exceeds in there. This one's pretty good. I like this one. Very unique effect. Oh yeah, and that X, that stands for the Roman numeral 10, so that'd be 10,000. I don't know if I've changed it yet, but we're thinking about changing, if you play with only the DBZ cards and not go against Yu-Gi-Oh, then we might change the life point counter to 10,000 instead. We're still thinking about it. Here's another cool thing. Whenever the fusion monsters say main, they actually start in your main deck. Basically, that just means it's a regular effect monster. But if it's a Batar or a Fusion Dance guy, we just gave it the purple Yu-Gi-Oh template because fusion's still a fusion. Just makes it look cool. There will still obviously be ones that start in the extra deck though. So, for example, this one would just be summoned by an effect. Or tribute, or whatever. Mentoring is another new thing. Again, you can read that in there, but basically, you're setting a card underneath of another card face down, and that just gives it an extra ability. So, it's pretty cool. Yes, it has been made. Move this back up real quick. Also, if you don't see a specific character or move or anything that you'd like to be made, just let us know. We will do our best to get it done. The only thing that's stopping us from doing specific characters first is just coming up with ideas. So we have plenty of pictures in mind already, and the names and the stats, but coming up with effects, that is definitely the hardest issue, because there's already this amount of cards. We don't want everything to have similar effects. Though, as far as specific cards go, like sometimes there might be, you'll see a spell or trap that effect is almost the same exact effect as an actual already existing Yu-Gi-Oh card. The reason for that is, once again, you cannot blend the two card games together. So to make up for that, there are some cards that have the same effect. But that really is only on the spells and traps, and even then, hardly not that much at all. Maybe a couple of the old staple cards, but then again, they could have some added effects or some effects taken away. Just about done with the DBZ stuff. Getting into the V's. Vegeta has plenty of support too. Not as much as Goku right now, but he does have plenty of support. So, as far as actually building a whole deck yourself goes, that I would say it's kind of hard to build a very competitive deck with what's available at the moment. So at the moment, I have only built 3 decks myself. One is just a plain Goku deck with added support. I'd say that's probably the most consistent build you can make at the moment. Well, maybe not as consistent, but the most competitive. One deck that's a little more consistent, yet not as competitive, would probably be a Vegito deck, just using both Goku and Vegeta stuff. And another fun deck that it's mostly stall draw until you get Hercule would actually be the Hercule deck. Uses Mr. Satan and Majin Buu, so it's pretty fun. Again, you guys can just look through it, print out whatever you want, make your own decks, play for fun. Moving on to GT. Not that many in GT right now. There's still plenty of characters that can be made. Alright, we even included AF and What If characters just for fun. I know a lot of people are picky about AF stuff, and they say all these random forms and stuff. To make up for that, AF will only be Toyable and Young GG characters. These are the two manga artists that are most popular for AF, and Toyable is doing very good for himself. He is actually underneath Toriyama in real life right now, and he is working on both the Dragon Ball Heroes manga and the Dragon Ball Super manga, so good for him. Again, these specific forms and characters are only ones that showed up in their mangas. So anything else is going to be in the what if, which is right here. Yeah, these two tabs have some of my favorite monsters. I love what if transformations. Yes, Super Saiyan forms for Krillin. It is amazing. I'm pretty sure this is what we expected with Super, but I'm fine with what we got. Alright, so that's it for the monsters, except for alternate arts, obviously. So, on to spells and traps. Spells are first. There's going to be a lot of them, but again, it's all in alphabetical order. And all these spells and traps represent, like, specific things that happen in the series, specific special moves, happenings, just really anything, as long as it's not a character itself. A lot of these have some really cool original effects, like the field spells. Some of those effects make a ton of sense and they're really cool. So, read those field spells. LOL. And you'll see some that say good, neutral, evil, and stuff like that. This is a pretty cool ruling, because for that you'd actually need to have knowledge of the series itself. The cards do not say good, neutral, or evil on the actual card itself, unless it's like part of the effect. But basically, you just have to have knowledge of the show. You can look up the rulings; it'll tell you which ones are which. But good, obviously, it'd be like Goku, Krillin. Neutral would be someone that's been good and bad, like Vegeta or Deborah or Fat Boo. And then evil is obviously the villains. So. Here's an example of a card that has the same effect as one that already exists. This has the same effect as the Yu-Gi-Oh card One Day of Peace, so that's just one for an example. Some art does not have the best, so we're always looking to improve the art as well. We're always trying to find the best quality pictures, so if anyone sees a picture that they don't like and sees one that they do like better for the card, let us know on that as well. We try to go for fan art first, but sometimes you just can't get it. And into the T's. Alright, I made it to the traps. Next tab. Yeah, these are pretty cool too. There are specific cards that have drill in the name with capital letters. There is specific reasonings for them. They should have a ruling for them. I can't remember right off my head, but if you look up the rulings, you'll see what's different about them. I think all the drills are trap cards though. Alright, and that is basically all of the actual cards. Alternate arts are going to be cards that you've seen while scrolling down, but again, just different pictures. Which, this can be done much easier than anything else, because we don't need to come up with any effects, just find another picture. And for that, in the set name, all we do is just add a little A next to that way you can tell it's an alternate art. Alright guys, that is it for all the cards. We've been working on this for, as you can see right here, this tread alone is almost 6 years old, and we've gone through plenty of treads before this with updates and everything. So we've been doing this for at least over 8 years now. It's just been getting updated as time goes by. All the cards keep getting updated. We always do a yearly update regardless. The OCG gets fixed as it gets fixed in the actual Yu-Gi-Oh card game. Everything just keeps getting better. So, that is it. I will leave the links in the description below, and hope to hear from you guys pretty soon. Alright, I'll see you guys later.